Hello, my name is Limjo. Welcome to Touchline Live, and we are actually going to be talking about the second tier of the European competition. I mean, the club competition of European football. One question: is your favorite team in this competition? If any of your teams are in this competition, let me know in the comment section. I'll not be doing this alone. I'll be doing it with Jijo. Jijo,
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you very much.
Let's dive straight in. The Europa League is starting off on Wednesday and then Thursday. What do you think will be different from this competition, like this new competition, and then the previous one?
One thing that has been characterized with the Europa League is there are lots of games they play. They play a lot of games than the Champions League.
Yeah.
So the previous competition that we were used to, we had the normal phase where we have the group stages, then we have the playoffs, then we have the round of 16 quarterfinals. It's a whole lot.
I know there's the round of 32 before round of
But
16
yeah,
years.
round of 32 for them. So it's a whole lot.
Mhm.
That is why I know that the Europa League is more difficult, because in terms of the games you play, it's more difficult to win it than the UEFA Champions League. But that being said, this new phase or the new format is going to make it more simplified,
Okay.
and we are going to see it's going to be the same as the Champions League. So we're not going to have a different. It's not going to be way different in terms of competition wise. It's just the competing teams
Okay.
that will be the only differentials between the Europa League and the UEFA Champions League. The formats are the same league phase, playoffs phase, and then the knockout phase. So it's going to be an exciting tournament ahead.
All right. So, Man United kick off against FC20 on Wednesday. What are your thoughts? And before we actually go into it, I know there have been some talking points concerning Man United and the manager, where Rashford was dropped for the weekend game against Crystal Palace. What is your view on that?
It's good. It boils down to the manager's decision. Some of these decisions. As a fan, I'm actually a United fan, and I would like Rashford to start because of the run of form he had, scoring a goal against Southampton, then scoring two against Barnsley.
Yeah.
You expected the manager to go with a decision that everybody would would please everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody would be happy with that decision of playing Rashford. But the question still remains, where will Rashford play? Because Garnacho, who was supposed to, who
replaced him?
who was an alternative to Rashford in that Crystal Palace game, and we saw against Barnsley what he brings on board. He brings goals, assists on board. He's very good on the ball. He has a good passing range, and basically he's had a better season than Rashford.
Yeah.
Garnacho has had a better season than Rashford in terms of goals and assists. He has started only just one game prior to the Crystal Palace game. So it was a very difficult decision to make as a head coach, because going into that Crystal Palace game, Manchester United have the upper hand. The Crystal Palace hasn't started the season on a good note. So you expected to give certain players the opportunity to also express themselves. But I think it didn't go as planned. If Garnacho should have scored those two goals,
would have justified the coach's selection.
the selection. You get me? So it's just that Garnacho had he didn't even have a bad game. To me, he didn't
I think Henderson, I think the Crystal Palace
goalkeeper
did extremely well.
Very good. So I didn't think even Garnacho had a bad game. No one can emphatically say that Garnacho's performance against Crystal Palace was that bad,
So
that he didn't deserve a start. So I think it was a coach's decision. I don't think it was any issue in terms of relationship wise with Rashford or anything. It was just a rotation.
All right, cool. So now let's zoom in on the game proper. What do you think United have to do right, or what do you think FC20 would also have to do right to nullify any threats of Man United, and how do you think the game will pan out?
So I think the game is going to be a one-sided game. United has really improved this season. I didn't expect United to play so well this season, but they are playing so well. Despite their loss against Liverpool, despite losing the Community Shield,
and they lost also to Brighton.
Despite their loss against Brighton as well, despite the draw at the Selhurst Park, I think United has really improved from last season. So even in the course of this season as well, they've improved from game to game.
Yeah.
So if you watch the Fulham game, for example, even though United won that game, United didn't play a lot of possession football. They were not very good with the ball. It's improved in the Brighton game. It went back to probably a bad one because of some of the mistakes that individual players like Casemiro did against Liverpool. But it improved against Southampton in the second 45 minutes. And it was brilliant against Crystal Palace for almost 80 minutes of that game. The only problem with Manchester United is that can they do it for 90 minutes? That is the only problem now. And how can they maintain consistency when they do it for 90 minutes? How they did it against Barnsley for 90 minutes. But somebody said it is Barnsley, so basically that is why they were able to do it for 90 minutes and scored 7.
All right.
So I think it's going to be a more one-sided game. United will dominate 20. I think 20, they're not a side that I think will pose enough threats to this Manchester United team.
Okay.
So 20 is going to be in a position that would probably sit back, wait for the moment and capitalize on it. They're not going to dominate the game. Ten Hag is going to be playing against a former club.
Yeah.
He played for 20 some years back. He loved the club. I don't think he's going to relax despite the relationship he has with 20. So I think it's going to be a tough one for 20 at Old Trafford. United first European game in the new format this season. Win massively, United go on top of the league table. So it's going to be a very difficult game for 20.
Okay, all right. So with the way you have spoken about Man United and you don't think FC20 will have a chance, what's your prediction for the game?
I think it depends on how United will take their chances. We saw in a game against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, they missed a lot of chances that I think it was an individual problem, not
a system problem. And I think so far United have missed about 16 big chances.
Yes, almost 17.
Yeah, so
that has a part to play.
Yeah.
Coming to your prediction, it's going to be a 3-0 victory for Manchester United.
3-0 victory.
3-0 victory for Manchester United. So I think with how United are playing, they just need to take their chances and they'll be good this season. I don't see them winning the Premier League. The Europa League, as we already said, is a competition that they can take advantage of and win. If they win this competition, it can really, really help them this season because winning a major European trophy, I think what was the last time they won? That was
under Mourinho.
Almost 6 to 7 years.
The last time they went to a final, that was under Solskjaer.
Against Villarreal, which they couldn't win.
They eventually lost some penalties. So, like in terms of records, that game ended in a draw.
But he didn't win the trophy. So winning the European silverware for Manchester United will be crucial for Eric Ten Hag. And I think winning the Europa League will save his job if he continues to play this way. I think qualify for the Champions League because winning the Europa League automatically qualifies you for the Champions League. So I think the main aim is to play well in the league, get a top 4 spot, or win the Europa.
Okay, all right, cool. So now let's jump to Spurs, Tottenham Hotspurs, and Karabakh. Spurs have had a good start, but then at a point, or they had a good start, but at a point they started losing their way a bit. Talk to me about Spurs versus Karabakh. How do you think that game will pan out, and what's your prediction for that game?
I think Spurs are the favorites in this one. I really like Spurs for some period of time. And under Ange Postecoglou has really done a great job with this team. In his first few games, he was flying in terms of how they played, the style of play, the momentum. Everything went well last season in that first phase. Second phase of the season, some injury setback came in, and everything went from 100 to 0 in a couple of weeks. I think Ange Postecoglou's problem has always been that he does not have an alternative plan to what he wants to do. When the plan A fails to work, the plan B is not. He doesn't even have it.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a plan B. So basically, I think Spurs are the favorites in this one. They won on the weekend against Brentford. They had a very good game against Brentford. Brentford were a side that I thought would pose a huge threat to their side. After conceding just under 1 minute,
Yeah.
Spurs came back to win. So I think Spurs will beat Karabakh by 4 goals to 0.
4 goals to 0.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, next game, AS Roma versus Athletic Bilbao. Now, AS Roma recently sacked one of their club legend, Daniel De Rossi. What do you think is the landscape, or where is Roma at the moment? Is this game where they can actually win or get a good result out of?
I think Roma is a side that on a European night, you have to bank your bet on them. They are that team, you get it. But Atletico Bilbao coming to Europe for the first time in I know so many years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be history for them. And our brother Inaki Williams is also there. I would want him to win this game. It's going to be a tough one for Atletico Bilbao, but Roma has also been in their groove this time around. They're also struggling, but they're doing so well. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it might end up in a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
But Roma, I said that you have to count. They are playing at home, right? So
yeah, Roma is playing at home.
basically, they are the favorites to win this one.
Okay. On that game, I actually tip Athletic Bilbao to win.
Okay.
3-1. Now let's touch on this last game. Ajax versus Besiktas.
A tough one, but Ajax will win this one. For me, Besiktas are a side that will put a lot of threat to this Ajax team. It's going to be a tough one, but I think since Ajax are playing at home, they have the advantage. Besiktas are not a side to, in terms of quality, they have it. They have the quality. In the Turkish league, they are one of those big sides that you count on. So, but they've not been there. It's always been Fenerbahce and Galatasaray dominating the league. So I think Ajax need to bounce back in terms of quality, because for some time now we've not seen the best of Ajax. So I think this is some of the games that we need to see what Ajax has in them and bring their A game on board. Yeah, I think the new coach is helping. So I think they should be able to at least get a 1-0 victory over Besiktas.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you very much. So yeah, you've heard it from Jijo, my guest. He's actually giving his expert predictions on this. So if you're an investor, well, you could actually take Jijo's word for it and then invest accordingly. So thank you very much for joining me on Touchline Live, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.